Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Falconbridge and I have got Seb on camera, and we have managed to come across the lovely spotted hyena. We are here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands, and the hyena, we're not sure exactly, but they have got some bones. We're thinking they possibly stole it or took it from the lions, that zebra carcass, and they've actually brought it down to the pan. The one in the water is actually washing it for some very strange reason. He has got the bones in the water, has just submerged it, and I don't know what it's doing. It took what looked like a hip or a pelvic girdle into the water, and it is gone now. Not great for the cleanliness of the water, I'll tell you what. But these hyena, there's a few of them. There's at least 5 in the area, and they've all got little bits and pieces of bones left over, potentially the ones the lions were not able to break open. And there the hyena, not a threat to the white-back vulture. There in front of it is the white-headed, not the white-headed, the hooded vulture. They're not too bothered by hyenas. They wouldn't get too close to lions or leopards, that's for sure. Wonderful specimen there, is it not? Aren't you pretty? I think only its mother can tell it that. Quite a sharp, narrow beak. The hooded vultures are generally the first vultures you find near a carcass or near a dead animal. And they are, to me, the most reliable vulture species. If you are looking for vultures, you're looking for a kill, look for them, and they will tell you exactly where they are. It is a lovely afternoon. There is a nice breeze coming in from the east. The hyenas were swimming just before, at least one of them was. Yes, Lily, we find hyenas interesting. They are extremely interesting, and please, folks, on that note, hashtag Safari Live for your comments and questions. Follow us on the YouTube stream. Send through anything you have. This is marvelous behavior we have here. The hyenas have waited for almost 3 days for the remains of this carcass, and they are now making good use of it. Isn't that a wonderful picture? Can you imagine 3-day-old zebra that's been sitting in the sun and half chewed by lions? Fantastic. A little bit of vocalizing from the one going off on my right here. Very gentle. This one just here, Seb. Just making a typical low little moaning sound. The hyena it's walking towards is actually looked like, when we drove past, it looked like it was feeding on the zebra's head itself. It is going there. We're going to stay here with these individuals and see what fantastic stuff comes about. Scott has been busy today with the remodeling of Ronald the Rover Mach 2, and so we're going to be deploying him shortly. But while we do so, Scott is also out and mobile this afternoon, and let's go over to him to say hello. And yes, folks, we are back with the hyena. We've been trying to get Ronald to do his part, and he got right in there, and the hyenas aren't too bothered. We just had a bit of a smudge on the screen we've had to take care of. But there they are. Dog to me, not that they are dogs, but have you ever seen an animal drink like that before? That is quite strange. I must admit, that's the first time I've seen a hyena drink. I've seen them sitting in water. We haven't seen the pelvic bone that one buried out in the water come up yet. I wonder what's going on with that. Maybe he dropped it in there and can't see it again. Uh-oh, the lovely cackle of the hyena. Senak asks if hyenas will bury their food from vultures. I've never heard of it. I know that they basically spend their time feeding on it, and once it's done, they walk away. They might often leave some bones behind, but once they've broken in and gotten the good marrow out and all the goodness, they often leave bones where they left them. That one looks like it might be searching for its long-lost pelvic girdle. I'm not quite sure. It's hard to tell which one of these actually was in the water before. There we go. Look what I found. No idea why it would have done that. Maybe wanted to clean off some parasites. Maybe there was some maggots on the form in there. Quite clever behavior if that's the case. And he's buried it in the water again. Absolutely bizarre. And how it found it again, it must have smelt it. Okay, folks, well, we're going to stay with these hyena for a while longer and see what they get up to. And in the meantime, we're going to be going up to Mr. Brent Leo Smith up in the Mara, who's just spots indeed. Scott, we have got a hyena right by Ronald. He's very interested with his wet muzzle. We don't want him to bite it, so I just have to move him slightly because one little bite will hurt. One little bite will hurt. We're right down by the... Ooh, the hyena is coming right up to Ronald. What is he doing? There he goes. They're having a swim, folks. This is what we'd all like to be doing this time of day. And they are playing with their food as well. I've never seen this behavior before. I wonder if Scotty's seen this before. It'd be interesting to note. Because it's been in the water, hasn't been feeding on that bone. It's just been chewing, swimming with it and dumping it in the water. So I'm not quite sure exactly what is going on. But he's definitely not sharing it with a comrade. And there they go. So Scott reckons Amber Eyes was down here by the water earlier. These hyenas have been very skittish. Any sort of sound or movement, and they get up and run away. And that's been happening repeatedly since we've been here. So it probably was Amber Eyes here earlier. And what I saw yesterday is they were very, very worried about her. And she did not give an inch on them. So you can see on the camera there, those hyenas there with their bones. And there's a hyena to the left, further back there, Seb. I don't know. It's busy eyeing out some impala in the distance. But the impala are looking straight at the hyena. Scarlett asks, do we see hyenas often? I don't see them very often, but every single night they come either into our camp or past our camp, depending on whether we've closed the fences. But yes, we have the tracks every single day on pretty much every road we traverse. So these are very mobile animals. They cover probably the entire Sabi Sands or their territories every single night repeatedly. And yeah, I don't see them very often, but obviously the last 2.5 days we've seen them almost constantly as they hang around waiting for the scraps at the lion's dinner table. And all we saw them here with was some bones, a head, and a zebra leg, which was just a hoof and some skin. So I don't think they did very well out of that. But we do see them quite regularly on the dam cam. And, well, I don't because I'm not always watching. But the hyenas are mobile all the time. And we have tracks coming in and out of our camp, definitely past the fence every single morning. The characteristic weird step that the hyena has. We're always seeing it when we're looking for our leopard or lion tracks. And just like that, they're all out of the swimming pool. Lovely breeze has just picked up again. So only seen 5 individuals. Last night we came out after we closed the show, and I think we counted 7 hyena with close to the lions, but they didn't do too much. They just sat there and they waited. Nothing like what we see on a lot of the documentaries of hyenas getting all aggressive and moving and chasing lions away. Matt asks a very good question. Would the hyena be keeping food away as a higher ranking hyena? Definitely. There's definitely a hierarchy in hyena dynamics. There's the alpha female or the matriarch, and she does most of the feeding, and only when she's satisfied will she allow those below her to feed. And the males, unfortunately, are always the last. Even her daughter will feed before any other male in the group. So there's definitely a bit of dynamic, but we haven't seen too much of it here. There was a bit of a squabble before over the zebra leg bone, but there was not too much in it. There's not too much to go around, but they will get some nourishment out of the bone marrow. So while we sit here and watch these hyenas and see what it is that they get up to, we are going to go back to Scott, who I believe is relocated on the Unkuhuma with her little cub. And welcome back from potential rain in the Masai Mara. We have a very nice sunny day here, and the hyenas are all over the place, folks. We are not sure what is going on. I have a really strong feeling that Amber Eyes is somewhere in the bushes here, because the wind has picked up and these hyenas keep getting spooked. They're running left, they're running right. This one ran to the dam. We're really not sure what's going on. And there is a hooded vulture as well, having a little drink. Isn't that a pretty bird? Perfectly specialized for what it does. Head deep in the carcasses of dead animals. Having feathers on the head would be a disadvantage. But see, the hyenas of the other three are somewhere in the bushes on that side. Not sure what they are doing, but I have a feeling that Amber Eyes is somewhere nearby. I believe she was seen on the dam camp about an hour and a half ago. But we have Rexon from Djuma. Here's a vehicle down there having a look, see if he can see anything. At the moment he hasn't communicated anything, but he has just arrived. But it's lovely to spend some time with these hyenas and see what it is that they're getting up to. Can you see how interested it is all the time? Very interested. Remember, their noses are so powerful. They can pick up the smell of, we don't even know, of a huge amounts of things in all different sort of forms. And it probably can smell that lion somewhere, and it gets a bit of a spook. And I was just having a look at Amber Eyes last night and commenting on what a huge animal that is. Such a huge animal. Definitely not a lioness I'd like to mess with, and I think these hyenas have learnt that too. While we were waiting for you all to come back, one of the hyenas had a bit of a bloody wound on its right back hip. Whether that was from a hyena bite or from competition with the lionesses, we're not sure. Didn't look too serious though. These animals have got very, very good healing properties when it comes to injuries. It's broken legs and things that are the problem, but wounds on the skin generally are sorted out pretty quickly. And you can see how that vulture is not at all concerned with the hyena. And another mud wallower. For Ralph, he loves his mud wallowers and his hyenas, and here we have a hyena loving the coolness of the water. Really messing it up for anybody who wants to drink that, because that is going to be revolting afterwards. Do you not agree? So from these spotted animals here in the Sabi Sands, we're going to stay with them for a little bit longer. Seb's going to get his drone out in a moment and see if we can get an aerial visual. And while we do that, we're going to be going back up to Ralph, who has got his lions.